Hi. It's been just adjusting the mic. It's been a rough day. I don't know. One of those days. It's just the weather is grey and cold. I was working from 6 o'clock this morning. I started a little bit late. Usually I start around 5 or 5:30, but I didn't get up till 5:30 this morning. 30. It's easier to say 30. 5:30. So and then I remembered that I had to go to my daughter's horse, which needed a farrier. That's what it's called. The fella who shoes the horse. It doesn't have any shoes on, but he cuts the hooves, or adjusts the hooves, or I don't know what it's called in English. But I had to go there, and then I went out with the horse into the wood because I really like the horse. It's like it's a little bit like having a dog. Just the really positive thing about a horse, it doesn't want to be with you all the time. I find a dog to be a little bit clingy, and we're different. I really like dogs, and I want a dog, but I just can't have a dog around me all the time because it just annoys the living shite out of me. Well, the horse, you can just go there. It's not here in my house because we can't have a horse there. The area is too small. The garden is too small, and we're not allowed to within the... It doesn't matter. It's somewhere else. I take a bus there. It's half an hour each way, roundabout. I read in the bus. I spent time with the horse. The sky's high. The sun was shining. We went into the woods. We had a really good time, me and the horse. Just, just one of those days where just... But afterwards, I was so beaten, I was just all battered because I was working. I had a deadline this morning and I was trying to get stuff done. And then suddenly I remembered I had to go to the horse. And then I came back and like a million things happened. And one, I had this guy fixing my roof. It's taken him a year and a half to finish it. Because he's doing it really cheap, like not for free, but just really, really cheap. And I didn't want to pressure him, because when you're not paying that much, you can't really pressure. You just have to, whenever you have the time. And he had some personal problems, and we talked a little bit about that. And then someone who lived just across from me wanted to give me some firewood or some wood that I should cut up for fire. So anyway, I don't know, I'm just all beaten up now. I was thinking in the last few days, why am I doing this? Like, there was a reason why I started doing this, and it was because all the videos that I see here on YouTube is videos about it's about the value of books. It's about keys. It's about really important books for you to buy if you don't want to be left out. And all that whole part of collecting has no interest to me. I read comic books because I like the stories in the comic books. I read comic books because I like the mixture of art and story. That's why I read books as well. I don't read a lot of books, but I try to read as much as I can anyway. Between work and kids and horse and roof and I do my best. Sorry, my voice is gone. I don't know. It's the weather, I think. This weather is making you depressed because it's just grey all the time. In Denmark, at least. And it's not winter. I like it when it's snowy and it's really, the air is cold. When there's frost like in the air and you can't really breathe because it's so cold. I like that. I miss that. Because now we have these sloppy winters when it's like because of the global warming. If I don't know if you believe in that or not. I don't really care because the weather here has definitely changed. It's much warmer now than it used to be. We used to have in the winter we could get between -10 and -30 Celsius. -30 was rare. It's like once every 20 years. But usually in every winter we'd have at least a few weeks where it was -10 Celsius. And now it's -1. If it's cold, like today it's a few degrees and it's just grey and sloppy and wet and so back to comic books. Sorry, I don't know how I got sidetracked into this. I started doing this because I wanted to bring something else to YouTube, instead of just the whole key, CGC 9.8, all that. People are doing that. People are better at doing that than I will ever be, because they give a shit and I don't. I don't buy books for keys. I don't buy books for first appearances. I buy books for covers. I have, every month I have a few cover buys. I usually try to squeeze in a few old books every month, because my comic book store has like a really good back catalog. Like they have like an old issues. They have them like stored away so you can't go through them. You can only see it on the internet, and then you have to go and ask them. I wish I could go through them, because then I would spend like 10,000 crowns, which is $1,500, just on back issues, and I can't afford that. So luckily, I have to like buy a little bit at a time. But, and this is the point of all this, is that I bought some issues because of an artist, and I sometimes do that. There's a few artists that I really, really like. There's Frank Miller. Everybody likes him. Neil Adams, yeah, sure. It's hard to find. It's almost impossible to find Neil Adams. Steve Ditko, it's impossible to find. I like, from the 80s, I like Brett Blevins. He did New Mutants. He created Sleepwalker. He did a few issues of X-Men as well, Uncanny X-Men, 219. That was a really good issue, actually. I like Rick Leonardi. He did Cloak and Dagger. So, like, whenever I find something that they did, I usually buy it. I also like Joe Kubert. And I found that he did, see, where is the first one? That's this one. Punisher Warzone. River of Blood. It's an enticing title, right? River of Blood. Look at that cover. That's Joe Kubert. It's old school. The drawing is old school, but what I want to show you was that, first of all, I like that. I like it when someone knows what they're doing, and they're really, really good at it, and you can just see from what they're doing that they really enjoy doing it. It's my daughter is coming home. They really enjoy doing it, and Joe enjoys drawing. And more than that, he's really good at it. He's one of the few artists. Now, we talked about my daughter's horse, so I really like horses. He's one of the few artists that can actually draw a horse. You would think it'd be easy, but it's really, really hard. But Joe can do it. Like, look at that horse. Both of them, even the one in the background, it's really, really good. I like the look of the horse face. Like, it has a slight look of panic. Like, what the hell is going on? I forgot to say that this is written by Chuck Dixon. Now, Chuck Dixon is he's a really cool writer. He never did, like, he never got the Frank Miller, Mark Waid status. Like, he never did like something really unique and really fantastic and really big. He's just like a little bit like Joe Kubert, and I think that's why I like these guys so much together, because they're both like really good at what they're doing. Like Chuck Dixon, he can put a story together, no problem. Start, finish, end. He writes the Punisher like nobody else in the business. He's just the best. His Punisher is mean and hard and wants to kill people. And he doesn't give a shit. I wanted to show you something else, Joe Kubert. I had it just before here. Oh, yeah. This is like he has like that's a very good, like, if you're a good writer, you have stuff like this in your stories. This character here, it's a side character. It's a boy. Also, I like this story because of the, it's a boy in Sarajevo, in old Yugoslavia. I like this story because it's historical. It's in the middle of the Yugoslavian Civil War back in 1992, around about there. Sorry, I can't remember. but it was around about there. It was a really important. It's a really important thing in European history. It's a really important thing in the history of the world, actually. I don't know how much of it you know in the US. But Chuck Dixon, he took that conflict and he made it the focus of the story. It was about, of course, the Punisher's there and he kills bad people and all that good stuff that we like very much. But it was also about the war. And the boy that I just showed you is the main character of that story. Look at this. That's also like so well told, this story over here. By Joe. No words, just pictures. 9 pictures on a page. You know what's going on. You like it. Oh, just to give you like a taste of the Chuck Dixon dialogue. Like Punisher meets a Russian fella like himself, like a huge Russian fella called, I can't remember, Druganov, something like that. It's the same name as a weapon, a Russian rifle. I'm not too familiar with rifles, so. And the Russian says to him, "We are men of great heart. We seek to bring down the man who would bring ruin to our people." And then the Punisher answers, in very much Chuck Dixon style, "We're not the same. I don't have a heart. And the only people I cared about are death. You won't find me in any of your songs, Dragunov." I like that. That's poetry. That's Punisher poetry. That's not that weeping, staring out the window thing that's in TV. I don't like that. I'm not too much into that. Maybe it's this one. I wanted to show you Joe Kubert's skills as an artist and show why he is above the rest. No, it's not in this one. It's in this one, which is underneath it all. Yes. Again, like no words. I don't want to ruin the comic book too much, but look at this page, right? They're torturing a guy over here, this one. And look, like most artists would just do, the background would be the same, and they might have 1 or 2 people change. He has every person change in every frame. That's just a master at his craft. This guy's just good. And again, telling the story with no words. This story is a 6-parter. It starts in 31 and it ends in 36. Now I want to do another video on, so you don't see my Alchemot. I want to do another video on Kubert covers, because these are not his best covers. They're not bad. I think there's a photo in the background that he drew on. It looks like it. Rip. They're not bad. They're just not like his best. I like this one. I don't know why this is in. There's a lot going on in this. And Punisher's eye. So I very much want to recommend Punisher Warzone 31 to 36, River of Blood, Chuck Dixon, Joe Kubert. You'll probably find it in your bins for 50 cents or maybe $1 each, and they're worth it. It's a very good comic book. It's entertaining. It's very, very good craftsmanship. I enjoyed it very much. I enjoy a very good story, good characters. I'm guessing Dragunov is the first appearance here, so if you're into that, like, yeah, that's then you should pick it up as well. But don't pick it up for that. Pick it up to read it. Like, don't buy a 9.8 of this. It's worth nothing. Pick it up to read it. Pick it up to experience it. Pick it up to feel, taste, smell. Because that's how good this is. You will be able to do that because of the artwork and because of the storytelling. Chuck Dixon, Joe Kubert, Punisher Warzone 31 to 36, River of Blood. Yeah, this is just like, again, it's not like, he's not, that's what I like about Joe Kubert, is that he's not like spectacular. Like, it's not the best, but he's very good at doing stuff like this. Look at this. Yeah, I know, this is, you'd say, but there's just like dots on the, yeah, but it gives you an overview. Like, it's a total, you know where everybody are all the time. It's like in a film, if they don't do that, if they don't do the total shot, I don't know what it's called in English. In Danish, it's a total. You don't know where people are, and they're just reacting. Joe Kubert is so good all the time at letting you know where everybody are. And that makes me more involved in the story, and it makes me able to invest myself more in the story. Just wanted to show you a picture of Punisher. Yeah, that's Frank Castle. And look who's in the background. The Kid. So it's the first appearance of the Kid as well. Yeah. Just want to mention that. I actually read the issue 4. It's I can't find it now. It's Matthew Rosenberg's. He's writing The Punisher now, and I was reading issue 4 because I got drawn in by the Dolph Lundgren, as we say in Denmark. No, not Sweden. He's Swedish. Dolph Lundgren. I don't know what you say. What do you call him in the US? Dolph Lundgren? Lundgren. Anyway, that fella, he's like, the Punisher on the cover is drawn like him, and I really like that movie back from, what is that, 87, 88, 89? I liked it because I think that he played the character so well, because I think Frank Castle is a military grunt, but he's also very smart. And maybe you're all laughing at me now, but I think you can see the intelligence in Dolph's eyes. And I don't see it in the guy. I can't remember his name. He's not a bad actor or nothing. I just don't think he looks like he's very smart. And I definitely think that Frank Castle should be smart. Anyway, back to the comic book. I get sidetracked all the time today. Back to the comic book. I like it. It's fine. It's good. But at $3.99, it has to be excellent for me to buy it. It has to be better than just fine. It has to be better than me. It is better than me. It's good. It's solid. It's just not up there. And it needs to be at $3.99 for me to buy it. Otherwise, I can't afford it. I need to be very selective. I need to be very hard. It needs to hit me. It needs to touch me. I need to feel something every time I read it. I need to be grabbed in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, there's something else out there that'll do it. And I would rather spend my money at that then. One more time. Punisher Warzone, 31 to 36. Joe Kubert, Chuck Dixon. Excellent story. You can pick it up for probably the whole run for $6, maybe $3 if you're lucky. Maybe it's in a 25-cent box and then it's $1.50 for all 6. You can't. I mean, it's solid. It's solid work. Craftsmanship's at its absolute best. Chuck Dixon, master of telling Punisher stories. Master. Joe Kubert, he's just a brilliant storybook teller. I will do some Joe Kubert covers at a later date. Probably my next video. I will celebrate him also with horses because I like horses. All right, cheers. Take care.